Are you a boob guy? More a butt guy? None of the above guy. I'm a hat man. I like a girl with a big old hat. Yeah. I was awestruck when she walked in.
Oh my gosh.
Not her bod, but how she topped it.
What?
Looking so fine with the long brim. And she clothesline people often.
Watch out, watch out.
Yeah. Taking up some space in the club.
Hey.
And I don't give a damn about the bud. Wow. You got a curvy hat. Damn girl, where's the derby at? Girl, your bucket hat is fucking fat. How much padding did you stuff in that? I think she got some work done, cause she's wearing a construction hat. Hey. Girl, you got the biggest hat I've ever seen before on your head.
Are you kidding me?
I can't even fathom how it got between the door on the way in. Can I weigh it? She sent me a pic at work, had to close it fast. In the pic she's fully clothed with a bowler hat. Hey. Girl, you know you're bad. Fuck a titty, show me where is the fedora at. An enormous ass brim like 83 inches. Like she came to see Biscuit. 3 hats, that's a triple crown, dear. She snapped, said my eyes are down here. Girl, you got the biggest hat I've ever seen before on your head. Okay. What? Okay. I can't even fathom how it got between the door on the way in. Can I weigh it?
No.
Scoochie. Boochie. Are you a boob guy? More a butt guy? None of the above guy. I'm a hat man. I like a girl with a big old hat. Yeah. I was awestruck when she walked in.
Oh my gosh.
Not her bod, but how she topped it.
What?
Looking so fine with the long brim. And she clothesline people often.
Watch out, watch out.
Yeah. taking up some space in the club. And I don't give a dang about the bud. You got a curvy hat. Damn girl, where's the derby at? Girl, your bucket hat is fucking fat. How much padding did you stuff in that? I think she got some work done, cause she's wearing a construction hat. Hey. Girl, you got the biggest hat I've ever seen before on your head.
Are you kidding me?
I can't even fathom how it got between the door on the way in. Can I weigh it? She sent me a pic at work, had to close it fast. In the pic, she's fully clothed with a bowler hat. Hey. Girl, you know you're bad. Fuck a titty, show me where is the fedora at. An enormous ass brim like 83 inches. Like she came to see Biscuit. 3 hats, that's a triple crown, dear. She snapped, said my eyes are down here. Girl, you got the biggest hat I've ever seen before. I can't even fathom how it got between the door on the way in. Can I weigh it?
Good evening. Sorry, guys, about my sound dilemmas. And I don't know why my thing just got interrupted. But I'm so glad that you guys are here. And thank you so much for letting me know about the sound. How does it sound now? Can you hear me? Yes, hold on. Uncle Ghosty, I really appreciate that. Thank you. Had to restart. Sure you guys saw. Michelle, Kim Painter, Mr. Leo. I'm so happy to see you. And love for the plant. Thank you. Tonight, I am excited. We are doing the Cure Show. I hope you guys all actually find this beneficial. Or if you have other suggestions as we go, obviously put them in the chat. Because I feel like curing is overlooked sometimes and it can make or break a harvest. You know? You guys tell me what you think. Oh my goodness. 5:30 Skeptic. I'm so excited that you made the live. Thank you for being here. All right, guys. Let's see. This is episode 79. Last time I kept saying episode 76. I have a tendency of doing that. My sound guy's here. Do we have any dilemmas? Okay. Oh, are you going to help me start my slideshow? Oh, getting some adjustments going on. Such a good guy. All right, guys. Well, while we're getting adjusted, I'm ready. Woo. Okay. How's it look? Thank you. Okay, so for some reason, the resolution looks better when I begin this process, but for some reason, when we put it up on YouTube, I'll work on that too. But you guys tell me if you can read it. I know he is awesome. He's always making it happen for me. All the goods. Do you see that? Michelle sending you some love. You guys got to watch Dark Horse Live tomorrow because I think it's going to be a great show. I hope Jason's actually doing a show because I think it's going to be fantastic. All right. So, the art and science of premium cannabis curing, from harvest to jarred, cured perfection. This is what we all want, I think. This is what we want. So, let's see here. I'm going to scroll down. So sorry. Now that my perfection guy left. Let's close out this bad boy and start with slide 1. Okay, where the harvest process begins. You guys let me know if you disagree with anything in here, but I would say at the end when your plants are actually finishing, we are looking for trichomes. Trichome maturity, specifically. You do want them to be mostly cloudy, but 5 to 20% amber. So for me personally, in the beginning, this was kind of difficult for me to dial in, especially on certain genetics, is some are so boldly expressive and you know the exact time that they're finishing and you can perfect this. Other strains that have to go longer sometimes make it a little bit tricky, I think, but you don't want too much amber throughout all the trichomes. You really don't want it to be predominantly amber because I think then it's a little bit too mature where you'll run into some dilemmas on the ending finish. So, healthy plants. Obviously, that's what we're all shooting for at the end of a harvest is we want to see everything uptaking perfectly, flushing perfectly, and that we have no issues such as powder mildew, bud rot, anything like that going on. Clean environment, very important to ensure this keeps staying clean. Avoid foliar sprays prior to harvest. So I put this on here because a lot of people use Zerotol or Oxyphos or hydrogen peroxide if you are running into mildew issues or like, I guess just rot as a whole. The hardest part about dealing with that so late into a harvest is there's not many ways that you can save the crop. Even spraying it, it's either going to dry your trichomes out, the product itself, like the hydrogen peroxide is it's going to totally drop your overall potency in terpenes. You just, I don't know. It's better, honestly, I think, at that point to just throw it all away, even though that stings and is very costly. Totally understand. But what you're going to go through by trying to spray and eradicate issues last minute is going to cost you more in just the curing process. Too much. Just too much. Then your space will be like contaminated for so long. And yeah. Okay. Treat tip. So relative humidity. You guys will see this is on every single slide here tonight. And I hope you can read it because this one's a little hard. But let's read it. So the percentage of moisture present in the air compared to the amount the air can hold at that temperature. Sorry. Quick reference. 58 to 62% is ideal. Below 55% dries too fast. And above 65%, you have a risk of mold. So I know people play with these numbers all the time. I would just say this is a good baseline. Okay? You guys let me know what you think. Whole plant hang dry. Huge fan of this. Not a fan of doing it so many other ways. There is plenty of other ways that you can do this, but this is something that guarantees that you're going to get the utmost flavor out of your strain's potential, I think. And you're going to run into less problems with humidity spikes and mold, again, or any fungal issues. So how this works for me is 7 to 14 days as I hang these plants. Usually our plants are pretty big. Is the bigger they are, the longer you're going to push that time frame. The smaller they are, the closer you're going to be to around that 7 days. So if you have, for instance, a 4-foot plant, you're probably going to be done hang drying it at about 7 to 8 days. If you have a 6-foot plant, you're going to be closer to that 14 days. We'll go over some of the things that you have to look for. But general rule, at least do 7 to 14. You know, if you're doing 10, it's awesome. I don't know. Most dispensaries are not even doing this at all. Or most even home growers, I see like push it in 5 days. I've seen other people run into obstacles where they've tried to bake it really fast, like in the sun or flash drying it, and just don't do it. Don't do it. I like to use these cables from Home Depot. I wish I had one on the show tonight. Super simple to hang and install, and you can clean them and wipe them really easily. You can roll them back when you're not using them. You can use them in really tight spaces. You can cram a lot of plants. I just think this is what we should be looking for. Hangers, I'm not a big fan of. I know people do it, but again, contamination and some of these other, it's honestly just a pain in the ass. I just hang it directly on the line, keeps it clean. I'm going to see what the chat's saying right now because I think this is good. Michelle, you're so sweet. Jason's birthday is technically on the 4th, this Thursday. So if you guys want to slide into those DMs or on those comments, he would really appreciate it. That's so sweet of you. Rusty nails. Okay, candy fruity strains seem to lose flavor if you let them amber. Yeah, rusty nails, thank you for pointing that out. Such a better way to articulate that is you just don't want to go too far with it. I think if you're seeing that 5 to 20%, it's safe. Because by the time that you're completely finished, they're going to mature further. It's just great. Listening to her makes me glad I don't need a dispo. The Rusty Nails, you're so awesome. Thank you so much. Rusty Nails as well. Relative humidity is the sweat that they get in Alabama while doing their cousin. That is hilarious. Whew. We'll come back to that. Stem thickness for strains too. Very good thing to point out. Because obviously the thicker the stalk, we're going to be again at that 14 days. The thinner, you're going to be closer to the 7. But thank you for pointing that out because that is a huge factor. Stutter, it's so good to see you. Kim Painter. What's the goal for your levels of the THC? You guys know I don't smoke weed. Kim Painter, awesome question. What do you guys think? Because potency now, overall, is discussed very poorly. People are like, THC doesn't matter. But if you work at a dispensary or own a dispensary, every other customer is like, I want your 30% or higher. It's so irritating. But to me personally, I've always liked lower testing strains. The flavor is Golden Goat is my first strain to come to mind, or even Skittles. But Golden Goat at the highest I've ever seen it test at for reals is like 21%. I'd say on average it's around 17% or below. But it does have higher terpene content of other cannabinoids. But either way, I love the flavor and I love the effects of it. I personally was like Jason 14 or 15 years ago where we tested highest in the state for THC specifically for almost 2 years. And that was 29% at the time. And it was with the white. And I did not get high from that strain. So it's just, for me, I think that you should smoke strains off of flavor only. I can't say only, actually, the effects plus the flavor. But I don't think the number, when we were testing highest in the state, they had a lab and it was only one lab and the technicians had to come in and take your sample. So there was no way that you could like finagle shit. Now there's so many different labs. People manipulate their testing all the time. I don't know. I would ignore it as a whole. But you guys let me know. Yeah. THC levels are only a goal for commercial growers, Rusty Nails. It's a good thing to say because it seems like that's true. It really does. But Kim Painter, that's a great question. It really is. What's everybody smoking on tonight, Michelle? I got Animal right now. Ooh. I miss it. Shit, 30%. It can go that high. I think the highest in the world they claimed was 40%. I remember, like, for us, we've had strains that tested at 36 or 34. But again, I think there's a value that comes, I think, from your test results as a cultivator. I've said this before, but the higher they seem to be, not true for all strains, or as they increase harvest by harvest, it's just reassuring that your plant is healthy and it's doing the best that it could possibly do. And I have seen that. I have seen really sick plants test at 12 or 13%. And then the second that you restore them, they're testing in the upper 20s and 30s. And that feels good. It's not about the actual, this is going to get you ripped, but it feels good to see a reflection of your plant feeling better, I'd say. Okay, I'm going to go back to this. Yeah, you guys, Rusty Nails, if you feel like it, Kim Painter, you should talk about a little bit of that stuff with like hash and the different ways of, if you want really high THC or, yeah, let me see. Okay, we're going to go back to this. Sorry. So we're going to cut the entire plant, hang it on the branch. We're going to leave all the branches intact, hang upside down. So it creates a slow, even dry throughout the plant. It'll be significantly slower than the other ways that you can do this. Better terpene retention, more even moisture. Yes, I would say this is what we want. Sorry, guys. No, see, I hear my son. Hope the boys are doing good. Okay, ideal dry room environment. The 60-60 cure. Temperature, 60 to 65 degrees. Humidity, 55 to 62% relative humidity. Light, we don't want any. 0. Airflow, gentle circulation, no direct fans on flowers. I do see a lot of people make this mistake where they'll be blasting their shit. So even if you have the plants where we're doing the full plant cure, is obviously if you're harvesting a room of hundreds of plants, you're going to have an excessive amount of humidity in that room. It's going to be where you have to really consciously spread them out as much as you can from one another because it's going to hold that humidity higher for a lot longer. Versus if you're harvesting six plants, at a time, you want to actually condense them closer together and have them actually hold the humidity. So I see people put their fans directly on, even big harvests like I'm talking about. And you do want airflow and movement going on in the room, but you don't want to be hitting anything directly. And I would say you want to embrace the humidity for those beginning days. Again, you're trying to preserve the moisture. And so it naturally will get drier over time. Depending on what state you live in, I know there's really humid states that you're going to have to use dehumidification right off the bat and probably have a little bit more air movement. But you just got to be really careful. You are in the perfect environment. See, Rusty Nails, this is great that you say that, to produce mold. But it's really important to sterilize your room, whatever you're working with. Is people make the mistake of, I'd say, not bleaching your walls. Or if you don't want to use bleach, you could use Fizan or so many other products, green cleaner. whatever your heart desires. But you really want to make sure that everything is sterilized in between, especially people that are running like mini splits or dehumidification or humidification. Make sure that these things are all sterilized on the regular, even within the same harvest. You got to be very careful of that. And it's good to go into your rooms, and when they're stacked like this, is to keep a very close eye those first 4 to 5 days, where you don't want to miss anything that could be harboring or starting to mold. Like if you have to adjust the plants and spread them out further, or you do have to add another fan, the earlier you catch this, obviously, the better. But for the most part, you also don't want to be moving these plants because they're going to actually harden and stabilize pretty quickly. And you'll start breaking branches later. You don't want that. Let's see. Okay. Harvest size and humidity management. More plants equals more moisture. We're kind of just talking about that. So as biomass increases, humidity rises. Monitor continuously with hygrometers. Use dehumidifiers or humidifiers as needed. Keep RH between 55% and 62%. Above 65% increases mold risk. Probably going to say this a couple times throughout, but you'll never forget. So small harvest, 1 to 10 plants. Pretty easy to manage. I would say your humidity and everything, pretty ideal. Medium harvest, 10 to 50 plants. You're starting to dabble with the risk of having, again, that exceed that 65% pretty easily. So you might need to run the fan the first day and run a dehumidifier. Not everybody with 1 to 10 plants might not have to do that. We're just going for this ideal spot of climate, right? Large harvest, 50 plants or more. Once you put that many plants into a space, it's just, you're going to have a very humid space. Rusty nails. Using a humidifier sketch. The only reason I say that it's good to have added humidification is if you are in states, Arizona, Colorado, sometimes these rooms will be super dry. And I only say if you're working in an environment or in an environment with your HVAC already compromised, where say you have the AC going all the time and you just really can't maintain the humidity. If you do have a small harvest, some of those things that are rare, but you might need to add a little humidity to hit that percentage. Versus majority of people, you're going to hit it by the plants naturally being in that space. And you're probably going to need the opposite to dehumidify the place or space rather than humidifying the space. But sometimes it does happen. I would say like very rare, but I've worked at some grows where, again, the HVAC has other issues and you just have to run a little extra for that beginning space. Let's see. Let's go up here. Sorry, guys. Yeah, Arizona. These are the spaces that like sometimes you really got to do it, even though it's like cringe to hear. There really is slim circumstances, but sometimes it's just necessary. Or those that are literally only harvesting 1 plant, 2 plants, So much easier. But moisture mitigation. Goodness. During drying. So stem moisture reservoir is on the side shoots. You can kind of see from this photo. Sorry. I can kind of see it. As I'm trying to describe this. I'm so sorry. So when you're taking these plants from a full plant cure, is you want to cut them in. I just like 6-inch increments as a rough kind of scale that you can use. Sometimes you can go a little bit bigger than that, like 8 inches or something, but yeah, is a slow dry allows even moisture release, terpene preservation, and better smoke quality. The branch transfers moisture itself, and the flower moisture releases. Fast drying causes crispy outside, wet inside, harsh smoke, and poor cure. Sorry. But when you do these little pieces, you'll see on the next slide, is again, it's just taking the moisture that you already have. Say at 14 days, if you go that full 14 days, I've seen people get really nervous where they're like, Jay, this is way too dry, way too dry. And you're like, just trust me. The second that you put this in a bin, it's going to be way too wet. And that's what we want though, is we want to preserve the moisture in the plant as long as we possibly can without it ever risking that moldy side of all that goes into all different types of spore problems. But we're just going to say in general. Oh, let's see. Oh, I keep clicking on my 4. Sorry, guys. Okay. The bins, secondary cure, 7 to 10 days. So this is what I was just saying. Break plants into 6-inch branch sections. Place loosely in clear food grade bins. Guys, I'm going to be really honest with you. This is a secret that I did not tell anybody as a consultant for years. It was the one thing I didn't like to share, and it sounds ridiculous, but no, this is some secret sauce here. So if you do the 7 to 14 days of the big plants, and then you break them down into these small branches, is the goal is to be able to put them in this bin almost propped up by one side of the bin to the other. That's what length I'm going off of typically. Is these bins are a picture of the actual bins that I use. You can get them at Home Depot or Lowe's. But I like to take these and I do ISO, wipe it out first, and take my little branches. And like I said, I'll put them at an angle. So that way when I go into the bin is I can just rotate them really easily and they're not resting flat on top of each other. They have that little angle to keep a good little airflow. The bin's lids are not technically airtight, but I like that. Is during this time, again, they're pretty wet. I hate using that word for this, but it's true. And when they are clear like this, just like Rusty Nails is saying, is you're able to see throughout the entire bin, the bottom, the tops, like you can see it all. So I've seen people use a lot of airtight containers or 5-gallon buckets and things like that. Personally, I want there to be a little air. You're filling these. Okay, so you're leaving the stems attached. Stems continue releasing internal moisture. Moisture redistributes evenly. Chlorophyll breaks down. Terpene stabilize and mature. Sorry, guys. This is hard for me to even read from where I'm sitting. Sorry. But when you're doing this, you don't want to fill the bins too much. It's almost like the jars when you're getting closer to the end. I would say you're only filling them about 70 to 80% full. You're not packing it. You want to be able to take the lid off and be able to rotate the entire bundle pretty regularly. So yeah, you guys let me know what you think. The tags here are just for our fellow commercial growers. Metric tags. But for a compliance thing, it was nice to have them at the front of the bin in case the state came in. Bin, cure, burping schedule. Okay. So once you have those in the bins for 7 to 14 days, then you're going to have your trimmers, or you're going to be your trimmer, and you're going to come in, break it all down. After you've burped those bins, for the 2 weeks is, oh, I want to see this. Sorry, Uncle Ghosty. Ba, ba, ba. I just go cut a bud as needed. I usually grow a bag here after 2 to 3 weeks. Tried just leaving them hanging this time and it has worked perfect, but still sticky, icky 8 months later. No terp loss or anything. Kind of shocked me because it's against the established protocols. That's freaking awesome. I mean, Uncle Ghosty, if you have something that works for you like that, is fuck yes. It's because this is the thing, is there's a lot of factors that can go into this as well. But I'd say in general though, without getting too fancy, this is pretty guaranteed going to work. And it's going to leave your flowers sticky like you're saying. Colorado, we have a lot of people that justify selling dry ass weed. And it's not because we live in a dry state. It's just because they're fucking up their cure. So I think you've got secret sauce here that's working. I love it. This is a pretty long process. If you think about it, it's 7 to 14 days just hanging. And then you're going to do another 7 to 14 days in the bins. And you're going to be burping those every few hours. So once we get to this point is we're going to trim, open lids and release excessive humidity. Check aroma and humidity, reseal and return to darkness. Target RH inside bins is 58 to 62%. So I've noticed without a hygrometer or crazy equipment, you can pretty much gauge this by following this. So your first 1 to 3 days after you actually break down the plant is you're going to burp this, 2 to 4 times a day for 15 to 30 minutes each time. So the reason I like these lids too is because you can actually leave the lid on partially and keep doing that so that it's not sealed. As I flip the lid over on top of the bin's top and say you put it on half of the bin, or you can put it on like 80% of the bin. It just depends on how wet your weed is. Those first 3 days is typically going to be pretty wet. So you can take the lid off the bin all the way and just put it on the side. And I would start slow though. I would start with only 15 minutes, put the lid back on and see a couple hours later what your moisture levels feel like by actually physically feeling the weed. Is if it's super sticky and tacky, too wet, then I would keep the lid off again for a little bit longer. Put your lid back on. I wouldn't exceed though an hour, or honestly the 30 minutes. You'd be surprised on how much this loses moisture and regains moisture super quickly. So after the 3 days, we're going to move to 4 to 7 days. You're only going to be doing that 1 to 2 times a day. And you'll see that the weed is starting to pretty much lose a significant amount of moisture, but also holding on. So it's still, again, to the touch, it's still sticky. Still kind of squishy. It shouldn't be hard and it shouldn't be dry, right? Days 8 through 10, once a day, 15 minutes. And all these times, right, when you're down to 1 time a day, is you're keeping the lid fully on. You're keeping the lights off. I don't add fans, obviously, in this space at the time. Your bin is pretty much your climate control at that point. Let's see. Bum, bum, bum. Final trim. Gosh. Remove remaining fan leaves. Shape and clean flowers. Prepare for long-term jar curing. Work in a clean, low humidity environment. I think this is important. This is where you don't want cross-contamination of your scissors or the actual room. You're about to jar this weed, in theory, for a long time. And you can't have any risk of bacteria, spores, again, of just anything. You don't want to be in this jar for your final curing process. So the cleaner you are at this time, the better. Honestly, there was times that I would wear full body suits and like masks, the whole shebang. It's just, I guess, how far you want to take it. But the cleaner you are, the better your weed will finish. It's a real thing. Let's see. Mason jar cure. So I know a lot of people have gotten away from this. Honestly, mason jars are fucking expensive now. They used to be like way more affordable. I spent like $54 on 6 mason jars when we needed like 200. Is okay. So I still think it's the best way though. So use clear glass, mason jars. Honestly, ball jars, I love them. I'm always going to love them. This is almost 20 years later and they have never let me down. Just never let me down. Fill 70 to 80% full. Again, you don't want to pack these things. I see people make that mistake the first couple times. You don't want to do it. You want to be able to actually move the product around in the jar, right? And you want to be able to see what's happening in the center, everywhere. So, yes. Airtight lids on this bad boy, though. Yep. Target humidity. We already know. 58 to 62%. Use hygrometer inside jars. This, again, is if you feel like you need this, do it. Do it. But if you also really are comfortable with cannabis and working with it all the time, I don't think you need a hygrometer. But you have to really pay attention then, I guess. This just makes it easier. Store in darkness. Yep. Bum, bum, bum. Jar burping schedule. This is my favorite part, personally. So week 1, every 4 to 6 hours, 5 to 15 minutes. It's the same thing essentially as the bins that we're working with. But this is just a little bit more important, I would say, because if you go to seal these jars too soon, they will mold. So, I mean, not that they wouldn't in the other phases, but this will be a complete nightmare because you've come so far. So every 4 to 6 hours, 5 to 15 minutes. Again, I would start with 5 minutes. Sounds ridiculous, but put back on the lid. Wait 4 hours. Take off the lid. If it feels too wet, again, go 10 minutes. Don't jump to 15 minutes. It sounds ridiculous, but these little things make such a significant difference in your final product. Week 2, 2 to 3 times a day, 10 minutes. Week 3, 1 time a day, 10 minutes. Week 4, every other day for 10 minutes. So at this point, you have a month just in the jar, right? But now you can keep that bad boy in that jar for a long time, like a really long time. And it will just preserve the terpenes, everything. It's amazing. But I've stored weed like this for over a year that just tastes phenomenal when you finally take it out. It's a really reliable system. Yep, here we go. Long-term storage. Store in a cool 55 to 65 degree in a dark location. This is because you're pretty much out of the zone of sketchy shenanigans at this point. You still don't want to put it in a super humid space, but you're doing pretty good. Avoid temperature swings, true. Keep jars sealed. Burp is needed. Flower will continue to improve for months. Yes, people only knew. It does not decline. It just gets better and better and better. Let's see. Water activity. Water activity measures the available moisture that microbes can use. Even if, relative humidity appears acceptable, elevated water activity will still create mold risk. Yes. Use AW meters for commercial quality control. Same thing. Is like, you really got to pay attention, I guess, to both of these things throughout your process. They're very important. There's no way around it. You can't skip out on this. It's like pH with the other side of growing. You can't just skip over it. Environmental equipment used by professional cultivators. There's obviously so much shit. So much shit you can buy to dial in shit for days and days and days. It's just, how much do you really want to spend? How much do you really want to rely on these things? Typically, you can get away from using all of them for the most part. And really just pay attention to yourself and dial in your space just on a lot of actual feeling in the space. Does the room feel good? Do you feel stuffy in the room? Does the weed feel too wet? Does it feel too dry? Like, I think people just need to go back to that sometimes. But in case you don't want to, there's all these great options out there. So one day I might bring Mango Tech on the show, and I know he would love to talk about all these things. I used to be a grower that wanted the most advanced technology, and I was working directly with Way to Grow's owner on setting up a lot of commercial irrigation and scale that was completely hands off for these massive rooms and spaces. But the truth is, the deeper I get into growing, the more I get away from those systems. Even though I love them, I won't deny that either. It's just better to be involved as a grower. The more shit that you want to make you get away from the plants is just, that's just no longer that fun. You're more into the equipment than you are the plants at that point, or you're going to be. This is compliance and record keeping. I'm sure you guys don't really want to hear about this right now, but there is a lot of documents that are needed for compliance if you're doing this commercially. So we don't really need to go into that. But you got to track every step, environmental conditions. Home growers, of course, like to do this too, though. You keep your journal, you keep logging everything. It's great. It is great information. When you get to reflect and look back, be like, oh, did I burp this for 30 minutes? Did I not? Whatever you're into. Bin and jar data, retain records of compliance. Consistency is key to quality and legal protection. Yes, it is. Oh, I feel so purified. Oh, did we just finish it like that? I think so. Yeah. Exceptional cannabis isn't just grown, it's properly cured. That's it. Sorry, guys. We cruised through that one. Yeah. I'm going to go through the chat really fast. See if we missed anything. Yeah. Misha. That's awesome. The room moisture has to be near 55 at least. Yeah. Rusty nails. Here's a trick. Some weed is great as soon as it is dry. Some needs a longer cure. For the home grower, just try a nug every day. You don't want to miss it. It's best fresh. Yeah. I mean, it's one of those things that everybody's going to have a little bit different opinion, I think, regarding this. But I think the people that just need a baseline to have a guaranteed cure with your weed tasting good, this is a good system. I'm not just saying that. It's a great system. But I also agree, Rusty Nails, that it is good to try your weed throughout the process. You're going to have days that it tastes like shit. I mean, for reals, it's not cured. And the flavor of the strains does dramatically change sometimes. Like chokeberry is a strain that I bred, and it's funny to me because those that have smoked or grown it will say it has like this hazy or sativa thing going on, which is crazy to me. because it has nothing to do with sativas in the actual cross. It's, I think, but I will say the flavor pulls a sweeter side if it's not fully cured. You have to wait for chokeberry to really express itself. You have to cure it for like 3 or 4 months at least. And that sounds ridiculous to some people, but it's just completely different. It's like almost like more of a funky kush, which sounds weird too, but it really is. Doesn't have a lot of sweetness. I don't know, but I see a lot of strains like that. That some strains just on the actual bud structure, right? Like if it's fluffy or just smaller buds, they obviously dry faster. So you're going to probably have to pull back on some of these things. Versus, again, hazes, stacked, right? Ghost Train Haze, fucking stacked. Like huge colas. So you're going to have to extend some of these areas and burp more frequently, possibly. And I don't know. Aaron Woodley, I love you so much. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Eagle Gardens, cheers to you. Oh, ba-ba. Rusty Nails. That bragged about seeing people sweet and say. What? Well, we don't like to talk about cops, so we'll skip that. That's not true. Sometimes. But I'm not going to invade that one. Sorry. He's a breeder now. Man, I have to go back through this. Uncle Ghosty. That's truth, Rusty. Strain dependent. Yeah. Some stuff tastes best soon as it's dry enough to burn. Even OG stuff, for example. Other stuff outdoor, longer flowering. The taste comes out after a few weeks. Uncle Ghosty's so cool. Candy berry strains are freshies too. Yeah, Rusty. You definitely know. I feel like it is cool that you point that out though, because it's a very true thing. I'm trying to remember from our last harvest, like specifically when you guys say that, some of the strains like Skittles does taste really good when it's fresh. It really does. But that's the same, or I mean, that's different because Skittles actually taste good both ways. Is the more you cure it, the louder it can get sometimes. But Skittles fresh. Straw Nana. It's another one that I really like early compared to others. Try a little each day or a few days and it will let you know. Uncle Ghosty, yes. It's not like you were smoking the whole jar. Rusty Nails. See, you guys, I love that you guys actually grow a variety of strains though. To be able to see that variation, because I think it's weird to say this, but dispensary owners have gotten further and further away from being the people that smoke weed. And it's strange. Like, it was hard to consult for a lot of dispensary owners or grows years ago because they just would hire to listen to you, but then not want to listen to you. And that was like its own battle. But at least they smoked weed. It felt good in that way. Like now, most of the owners I talk to, they all don't smoke. So I think that has a lot to do with these fast cure times. Commercially is very different. The fucked up things that you see behind the scenes of just people trying to move product because they've got overhead, they've got payroll, they've got whatever going on. And I know that, you know, our trap stars have always kind of had to speed things up sometimes too, but it's hard to find craft cure times. Not craft weed. Some guys cure like super fucking fast and it works for them and you wouldn't know. But for the most part, all this shit weed that people are crying about in Colorado and kind of ruining the market, I would say, that stuff doesn't get cured. It barely gets flushed, you know. It's just, I I don't know. But for your head stash, I'd say you should try this system at least once. Just tell me what you think. But I think you should try to take the flower, vacuum seal that bad boy. I was going to put that in there, but if you try vacuum sealing it after you have it in the glass, your mason jar and everything, open it 3 months later and see that flavor and tell me that you are not in love. Because it is freaking delicious. Maybe that's just me, but I love it. I love it. Okay, well, I don't want to even say goodnight to everybody because it's been so wonderful seeing you and getting to see you or speak to all of you guys in the chat tonight. I really can't thank you enough. I wish that Arizona Grows, Mr. Leal, Laszlo, I hope you guys have a great week too that weren't in the chat tonight, but I hope that we get you in the replay. And you guys let me know. I might have a guest next week. Not sure. Maybe the following week. But we're shooting for next Tuesday. And I think you guys would really appreciate this guy. We're talking about some of the things that he goes through in New York. Yes. Also, I think that you guys should let me know if there's another topic that really interests you. I know I could have probably done things a little bit better with our cure show tonight. But just bear with me, like I said. We'll get better as time goes on. Yes, the more time I can put into this bad boy, the better it's going to get for all of us. But yes, I also think we need to get Duke back on because I want to talk to him about the schedule changes and see how he's feeling about everything. I know he's kind of already done a couple interviews regarding it, but you guys let me know if you would like to see Duke Diamond again. I think it'd be great. Mallow, it's so good to see you. Sorry. Just want to make sure that you know how excited I am that you are here. Okay. Well, guys, I hope you have a beautiful week, and I hope to see you very soon. Slide into my DMs if you have any suggestions for the next shows. Oh, man, is my mouse dead? Sorry, hold on. This is going to be funny if I don't know how to end my show. I'm frozen. I need my sound guy. Oh, it really is froze, guys. Let's see. We're just meant to be together for a little bit longer. Let me see if I can plug in my mouse. Give me just 1 second. Gotta have some obstacles every now and again, right? Come on, baby. Okay. All right, guys. I got it back. I'm so sorry about that. But I love you. And peace and love. I'll see you next Tuesday. Good night.
No.